everyone, it's Danny and today I'm going to be filming my top 10 favourite bases. So these are sort of my current top 10 favourite bases and ones that never seem to fail me and things like that. I'll start from low coverage and work my way up to high coverage so that you can see where they sort of lie on the scale compared to each other. First up is a product from Origins, and this isn't really classed as a base, it's more of a moisturiser with a slight tint, and it is the Origins VitaZing Energy Boosting Moisturiser, and this is great as it has an SPF of 15, which does protect you from the sun a little bit, and it's also really light and hydrating, and it just has a slight tint, so although it isn't the highest of coverage, I would say it's a very, very light coverage. It just evens everything out and gives me a bit of a glow so that my skin looks really healthy and even, and I just feel comfortable leaving the house with just this on and a bit of mascara and my eyebrows done. So this is a really nice one to use for school or to the gym, or if you're just popping out or anything like that, because it's not really heavy or anything, but it just does make your skin look a little bit nicer. Next up is another sort of tinted moisturiser product, and it is the Jouer Luminizing Moisture Tint, and I really like this because again it's just a really light coverage and it gives your skin a really nice glow without being too much. It doesn't make you look oily or shiny or anything, it just makes you look very healthy and glowy, and this one has a bit more coverage. I would say to start off with it is a light coverage, but you can build up to a sort of light to medium coverage, and it just really evens everything out, gets rid of redness and makes your skin look really nice. And yeah, I just really like this one. I don't really go for heavy coverage too much because I don't find my skin needs it, and I'd rather use a light base like this and then cover any spots and things with concealer. The Jouer is good as well because it does have a lot of really good skincare benefits, and it helps to deliver antioxidants to the skin to just make it a lot healthier and clearer. Next up is one of my favourites of the bunch, and it is the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Tinted Balm. And first off, I love the packaging of this. It's so slim, so it's really easy to slip into your makeup bag, and it's just really cool because you can press this and see how much product you have left. And I have the darkest shade, unfortunately, so it's not really very good for people darker than me because I am a NC35, so if you're much darker than that, I don't think this will suit you, but if they do have a shade for you, then I definitely recommend checking it out. This is packed full of really good skincare benefits, and it's just really light and hydrating, and it gives your skin a good amount of coverage. I would say this is a satin finish, and it has SPF 30, so it does protect your skin from the sun, and I often use this and don't use an SPF separately because I find this is enough for most days. I would say this is a light to medium coverage, but you can build it up a little bit and you can also sheer it out, so this is really nice just to cover everything up and not have to worry about spots and things being on show. Next up is a BB cream, and it is the Diorskin Nude BB cream, and I really like this because although it doesn't have that many good skincare benefits, it is just a really nice light base. I would say it's a light to medium coverage, and it's sort of a satin finish. It does give your skin a very natural glow without being too much, and it does control the oil. I find I don't really get too oily when I use this, and it's just a really nice foundation kind of product which just blends in really lovely to the skin and just looks really natural, and it's just really easy to wear. I don't have to worry too much about blending it in too much, and it does only have an SPF of 10, so it's not the best on that front, but when you pair it with an SPF it's fine, and that means it's quite good for evenings because it won't have too much flashback. Next up is a tinted moisturiser, but I wouldn't really say this is a tinted moisturiser, it is more of a foundation, and it's the Mercier oil-free tinted moisturiser, and this is great because it has an SPF of 20, so it's good for the summer to protect your skin, and it is a tinted moisturiser, so it does have some good skincare in there as well, and I would say this is about a medium coverage, so it's really good if you want to wear a tinted moisturiser but want a little bit more coverage in the daytime, in the summer. And yeah, it's just really nice to use. It has a skin-like finish, so it's quite satiny, so it gives you a bit of a glow without being too much. And I do find that although it's a good coverage, it doesn't really look cakey at all. And yeah, it just blends in really nicely to the skin, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a tinted moisturiser with a little bit more coverage. So they were my sort of top 5 tinted moisturisers, I've just realised, and the next 5 are foundations. So the first one is the Revlon Nearly Naked foundation, and I don't use this one that much because I just seem to forget about it, and I like to use my more expensive ones more often so I get my money's worth, but when I do use this I do really enjoy it, and you sort of forget that it is so cheap because it just gives you such a flawless finish. I would say this is a light coverage, but you can build it up a little bit more to sort of a medium coverage, and it just gives your skin a really natural glow. It's just very natural looking and it blends in seamlessly, and this is a pretty good colour match for me even though it's a drugstore foundation, and I don't find it's too pinky or anything, so it's really good if you do have slightly more yellow toned skin. It has an SPF of 20, so it's good for the summer as well to protect your skin a little bit, and yeah, I just think this is a really good all-round drugstore foundation. The next one I don't really use as much now, but I do still really like it and I do still enjoy using it. I think it's just I've got more that I love, so it does get pushed to the back a little bit, but I would recommend it all the same, and it is Nars Sheer Glow. I like this because it's such a good colour match for me. It is very yellow toned, which really suits my skin, and it's just a really nice finish. It doesn't have an SPF, so it's great for photo taking because there won't be any flashback. And I would say this is sort of a medium coverage, but you can build it up to sort of a medium to full coverage. And it isn't really sheer or glowy, but I quite like that. It just gives you a really nice natural satiny finish on the skin, and it's just a really nice all-round foundation to pair with an SPF in the day or to use in the evenings for photos. I would say, although people don't say it lasts very long on the skin, I do think it lasts a pretty good time on my skin. I would say it probably lasts a good 8 hours before fading at all, which is pretty good for a foundation, and it would definitely last longer with a primer. The next foundation also doesn't have an SPF, so it's not very good for summer, but that's exactly why I bought it, because it was for my prom. And it is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and this is just a really lovely foundation for photo taking because it has no SPF, so it doesn't give you any flashback, and it has a good medium coverage which you can build up or sheer out, so it's very versatile. And yeah, it's just really nice. It gives your skin sort of a slightly glowy satin finish. It's not as satiny as the rest, it is a little bit more glowy, but it's not that luminous. So don't be afraid if you have oily skin, and I do really think this is an amazing foundation because you can pair it with an SPF, so it's great for the day, or you can just use it alone in the evening. And I really like this paired with my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector just to give me a little bit more of a glow, and also the SPF. And I wore that to prom and it lasted all evening on my skin. It lasted from around 5 o'clock to around 2 in the morning, which was great. The next one is probably my favourite of the bunch, and it is the YSL Teint Touche Eclat Foundation, and this is just a really nice foundation. It has SPF 19, so it's not the best for flash photography, but it shouldn't be too bad, and it just has a really nice glowy luminous finish, much more glowy than the others, but it still doesn't look too shiny or unnatural, so I really do like it. It has sort of a medium coverage, but you can build it up to full, and it doesn't look cakey at all, and it lasts such a long time on the skin. And this is just my favourite foundation to use if I want a foolproof base that's going to cover everything and just give me a really nice glow. It is quite pricey, but for a high-end foundation it's definitely on the lower end, as it's £29, and some of these are sort of £30, £34, so it's definitely not as expensive as the others, but it is very expensive. But I do recommend it, and I would recommend investing in it if you do like a good coverage foundation with a lot of glow. If the YSL isn't in your budget, then I definitely recommend checking this out. It's the L'Oreal Lumi Magique foundation, and this is quite similar in that it gives your skin a really nice luminous glow, and it's got sort of a medium coverage, but I would say this one's slightly more full, so it's sort of a medium to full coverage. And this one's not so great in that it does make my skin a little bit more shiny, and it doesn't last quite as long, but if you're willing to powder and to use a primer, then this is a really nice one to use. This has got an SPF of 18, so it's very similar in SPF as well. I would say this is sort of the drugstore dupe for this foundation, but slightly less long wearing. So I would say this is definitely my favourite drugstore foundation that I found, because it just gives my skin such a lovely finish and really does cover everything. Okay, so that's my top 10 favourite bases. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave all the products mentioned in the down bar, along with my links and any reviews I've done, and do make sure to comment some of your favourite bases, because I love trying foundations and things out, because I do think it's like one of the most important parts of my makeup routine. If you have any questions about any of the products, then don't hesitate to ask, because I'd love to help, because I know some of these are very expensive, so you want to know if they'll be good for you before you buy them. Like this video if you liked it, and do let me know if you want to see any more top 10 videos, because I'd be happy to do them, and I will be doing a video every day, so I'll definitely be able to fit them in. Make sure to subscribe to see more of my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!